case is very interesting because that case was meant for the babies of slaves. And if you look at the dates on the case, it was exactly having to do with the Civil War. That case was not meant for some rich person coming from another country, putting a foot in our country, and all of a sudden their whole family becomes, United States citizens. That case is all about slaves, the babies of slaves. And it was a good reason for doing it. And that's all it was about. And people now are understanding it. It's been explained to them, and I think the court understands it too. That would be a devastating decision if we lose that case.
That court,
because our country cannot afford to house tens of millions of people that came in through birthright citizenship. When that happened, that was meant for the babies of.
No matter how many times you sit here and tell us that it was for the babies of slaves, you would be incorrect on how they established birthright citizenship and how it was written and the process in which it went through. But I'm here to walk you through that shit. Now we're going to start here with pre-Civil War initiatives to get to birthright citizenship, which started where we were, which was the first Naturalization Act of 1790. This was about states being able to deny, strip, or grant citizenship if you resided in their state. And it provided that to any free white adult, male or female, but excluded pretty much everybody else. Now, they had some ratifications of that, which came in 1975 and 1802. This one extended the years to 2 to 5 instead of 1. This was so that the court had to enter all the records of these immigrants into the United States collection system, pretty much. Now, there was a case, this case in particular, in 1817, which essentially ruled that the power of naturalization should be exclusively in Congress, which was very interesting because it raised several questions, like the Dred Scott case, which then determined that Black people did not have the right to citizenship, which then prompted Congress to do this. The Civil Rights Act of 1866. This was an act to protect all persons in the United States because race wasn't the only thing that was being persecuted. Religion, gender, things like that were being persecuted when it came to citizenship pre-Civil War. Now, this passed through the House and Senate and was sent to President Andrew Johnson's desk, where he vetoed it. And the reason for his veto is explained here. But essentially, he said that Congress had to put it into the Constitution and that a law simply should not negate states' rights because this president was all about state rights. That's why he jumped on the ticket with Lincoln right after. State rights was all he ever cared about. But unfortunately for him, this House and Senate overruled him and essentially vetoed his veto, which set up for the 14th Amendment, which was ratified in 1868, establishing citizenship rights and equal protection under the law. And it defines national citizenship and restricts states from abridging civil rights and grants Congress enforceable powers, making it one of the most legitimate and consequential amendments in the United States. It was perfect because the way that it was written was something called jus soli. If you don't know what that means, this is what they ratified. That birth on land equals allegiance. There was various sections in which this addressed, but its main point was to never let gender, sex, race, or group or religion ever be put into question for citizenship. It almost had nothing to do with just slave babies. That wasn't even brought up in the majority of the arguments. This was a fight between Congress and the federal government versus state rights. And the federal government won. And unfortunately, there was the case cemented it for immigrants, which was the United States versus Wong, cementing into place that the 14th Amendment does apply to children of non-citizens. And I don't know why he kept saying people that are rich that just step foot in this country and then bring their whole family. That's simply not what birthright citizenship is. It's if you're born in this country, even if your parents are not U.S. citizens, you are a U.S. citizen. This is your political mom. Educational purposes only, viewers' discretion advised.